Let's go down to the ATL. Kara Dunn joins us with the Jackets. Kara, first of all, appreciate you being on the show. You're making your debut with us. And we were having some fun with you before during the break. I just want to get this one out of the way. I'm like, man, I can't figure out what you're wearing. I said, what kind of jacket are you wearing? Do a little fashion show for us on this before we
Yeah, I
start talking some
can.
hoops. There it
Yeah, it's our
is.
Letterman jacket. I just got it. We got the T and then Buzz right here.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's awesome. The jacket's jacket pack.
I like it. All right. By
Yeah.
the way, you get a thumbs up on that? Did it reach your approval on that? Was that good?
No, yeah, for sure. I love it. I wear this all the time.
Well, you're off to a great start. And again, congratulations on all the hard work, certainly paying off. Does the game feel like it's slowing down for you right now? Because you're playing that way.
Yeah, I think I'm definitely getting more comfortable with myself, and it's really just a product of everything that I put in the summer, and I really just want to keep going. It's early into the ACC schedule, and we every single game gets harder, so you just got to stay focused and take it one game at a time.
Kara, I think that's a great mindset. But I remember from Media Day and even just throughout the year, we've seen some stuff from Georgia Tech on social media, the documentary you guys were doing about how last year was tough, right? It was a tough year for Georgia Tech, and how you guys and Coach Fortner were saying that it's not acceptable what happened last year, and that it was personal. I think that's what I was hearing from you guys. So what did you talk about the offseason, the work you were putting in? How did you and your team's mindset shift from last year to this year? Because we're seeing a lot of improvement from you guys.
Yeah, no, it started even before the season ended. We saw how our season was going, and we were just talking like me, Kayla Blackshear, Tony Morgan. We were like, this next year is going to be different, and it starts now. And you could kind of see that towards the end of the season, but it was really the summer. We were like, this is the summer that if we want to see change, then we have to make sure that we're putting in the work early. And so that was really just our main focus going into this season.
Here, with that said, if folks don't see that part. What they see is the finished product. And, this is true for any sport for that matter. So, for example, kind of walk us through what became the routine for you work wise in the summer to become a better player.
No, yeah. This summer was a lot of individuals with my position coach, Coach Blanche. And really for us, it was training my mind as well as my body. I really wanted to be in the mental state to where I'm thinking be aggressive. I'm thinking every single day, every single practice, it all matters. Like, I just didn't want to be lackadaisical and I didn't want to waste the day.
And so, what became the motivating force other than your coach screaming in your ear every day? I mean, I'm sure you probably were reading a bunch of stuff that kept you mentally fresh and kind of rebooted and refocused as well.
Yeah, no, it was a lot of myself and my family because they're my biggest supporters and they were there with me through everything and they knew where I wanted to go, but also I needed to vocalize that. I met with my coaches, I told them the type of player I want to be for them and they helped me get there.
You mentioned your family. I got to ask this, Kara, because your mother played basketball at Georgia. So, look, Georgia Tech, we're glad you're there. We're glad to have you on. We know Georgia Tech, great school, great program. How did that go down when you told mom, hey, I'm going to go to Georgia Tech?
Yeah, no. Surprisingly, she wasn't like a driving force, like telling me you need to go to Georgia or anything. My parents, they definitely let the recruitment process be my own decision. They were there to help me, guide me, give me advice, but they weren't forcing me to do anything. And they told me that they wanted me to be where I was comfortable. And the more I vocalized that, the more we just talked about it and it ended up being Georgia Tech. So we're rolling with it.
I like it. By the way, Karen, I'm curious too, with all the work you put in away to get yourself in this position. I'm always curious to see where players or who they kind of say, you know what, I want to kind of play and make my game look like fill in the blank. Were there any WNBA players, maybe some NBA players? Maybe there's some players at Georgia Tech, guys you watched, women you've watched on television from other colleges around the land. Who do you want to make sure your game reminds them of? I'm just curious.
Yeah, so I've been saying this for years. Maya Moore, my mom knows her personally, and I grew up watching her whenever I watched the WNBA and whenever I watched the links, and I just love her aggressiveness. She's not scared of anybody, and more than anything, when you think of Maya, you just think of her confidence. And that's just something I really wanted to replicate my game for. So,
Have you ever met her?
uh, yeah, when I was a kid, my mom told me that she babysat me. And so, but I would love
Oh,
to meet her. I would love to meet her again and tell her how much of an impact she's had on me, you know?
That's awesome,
how
Kara. Well,
crazy! How crazy is that? I mean, seriously,
I
that
for
is
know.
you
wow.
to pick of all the people, and all of a sudden, oh yeah, my babysitter. That's who I'm gonna get pattern my game after her. That's kind of wild. That's
Yeah.
nuts.
Mm-hmm. It's crazy.
Kara, I
Small
see it
world,
though.
but yeah. Thank you.
I Yeah, I see it. I see the body type for sure. 3 level scorer, which we all know, of course, Maya Moore was. So that we need to
Mm-hmm.
put this on social media, get this thing going, right? We need to see if Maya Moore, maybe she'll be rolling through Atlanta at some point, can check you guys out.
Right.
But you guys are off to a great start in ACC play, 3-1 in the league. That is an impressive feat just in this league, right? It's brutal. You saw it as a freshman last year. How much
Mm-hmm.
confidence do you guys have coming into this Duke game this weekend, which is really big for you and Duke both? But what does it mean for your team's mindset, your confidence to get off to this hot start?
No, yeah, our confidence grows every game, every practice. We know what we need to work on. Every single game, we learn something new. And so I would just say that it's a balance. We're going into it confident in what we know we can do. It's all about whether we execute it. And the coaches try their best to prepare us for it. And it's how what we listen, we take that in.
Kara, do you guys scoreboard watch at all? I mean, I know you're 3-1 in the league, and we know how many ranked teams there are in this conference, and NC State's gone from unranked to being a top five team for the most part. We know about Virginia Tech. Notre Dame's been beat up, but we know they're really talented. Louisville's really good. Florida State, North Carolina. I go through the whole list here. But do you ever
Hmm.
scoreboard watch? Do you ever sit there and say, hey, man, it's January the 12th, man, we're in a pretty good spot? Or is it just like, hey, only thing I'm worried about is Duke. That's all. That's who we play. That's all. So I'm just curious. Where are you when it comes to all that stuff?
No, yeah, we definitely have plans for this ACC season and the ACC tournament. But yeah, I would say our main focus right now is the next game. So.
So no nonsense from
That's
you.
right, Pack.
No
Locked in.
nonsense. All that
Yeah.
outside noise, all that hard work in the summer, people screaming at you, mom doing her thing. It's all about what's in front of you, right? None of this other
Yeah, it
nonsense.
is. Yeah, that's all
Yeah,
you
come
can
on,
really
Pack.
focus on.
I like the mindset because you talked about mentally getting tougher, right? I mean, folks just
Yeah.
think of the physical part of it. I don't think a lot of folks understand mentally what you have to do to prepare yourself
Hmm.
for a year. And obviously, you saw that coming down the pike last summer.
Yeah, and we learned that early on. Like we know what we can do talent wise. We have a very talented team. I play with very talented teammates with a high IQ. But the mental side of it, the want to do it, the want to get better at defense every single game. And I think that's something that we're starting to have click in the past in the recent games, but we still have to grow on it.
We mentioned, Kara, how different you guys have looked from last year to this year. You were a freshman last year. Tony Morgan was a freshman. You guys have grown up so much in a short amount of time. If someone said, well, I saw Georgia Tech's record last year, I see this year they're 3-1, they're doing some special things. If someone asked, what's the difference with this team between last year and this year, what would you say?
Yeah, I think we have one goal. We all went through that together. We went through last season together. And I think we're all just focused. We left that in the past and we know that what we can do. And like my class, me, Tony, Inez Noguero, and Kayla Blackshear, I know she's a year older, but we know that we're put in these leadership positions this year and we know what we need to do to lead our team. And the whole team is with that, even with Russ as a freshman, like she's a huge part. And I think everybody just has one common goal, and that's been the best thing for us.
By the way, we know your coach, Coach Fortner, is a piece of work, and given her media background, and we always get a kick out of her when we're interviewing her, and she always gives us great sound bites. But I suspect that practices are probably you see a different side of her than we do. But give me the best part about playing for her because she really is not only a tremendous
Yeah.
coach but a great personality.
I think the best part about playing for Coach Nell is just that, like you said, you never really know what she's gonna say. It it could be like a not so good play, but she could either be really happy about it or she has something to say about it. But I think the best thing is that she just keeps us on our toes. She makes us laugh. we're not gonna love her all the time. You know, that's a coach-player relationship, but in all we know that she has our best interests at heart, and she has a lot of experience, and I think that's the best thing. Like, I have the utmost respect for her.
She's a future Hall of Famer. So, yeah, we know that. Kara,
Yeah.
we've mentioned that with her sound bites. She's also a proud Southern woman. I'd put it that way. Give me your favorite Coach Nell saying.
Oh my gosh. Oh, let me think. She says a lot. To me, she's always like, she's always like, go off at 2 feet. That's been her biggest thing this year, going up strong off of two
Okay.
feet. And in her voice, it makes everything so much funnier. And she's just like, be tough, be tough. You just hear everything. And then she's like, well, let's stay with me here. Listen with me here. And then we're like, oh no, we're about to go on a long tangent. But yeah, she's the best.
Well, I love it. Well, listen, congratulations again on all your hard work, and it is paying off from not only an individual standpoint, but also for your team. And I know that's the big picture. That's really what it's all about. And on this Friday afternoon, we appreciate you joining us. Stay healthy. I always tell all the student athletes, man, there's nothing worse than an injury for anybody. You guys put in so much work. That a lot of folks don't see all the work that's done. And all you guys do is entertain us. And we just want you to stay healthy and do your thing, and wish you nothing but the very best of luck.
Yes, thank you so much. Thank you for having me.
And by the way, the leather jacket looks good now.
Yes,
You got that
fire.
thing going.
Yes,
That's working.
thank you.
See ya.